Hello everyone, welcome back to a new HarstemCasts video. Today we're going to be having a look at a best of 3 plate between HeroMarine and sOs. First map is going to be on Lightshade, as sOs started with a very fast probe scout. He's been doing this for a while, where he tries to block his opponent's barracks. And in order to get that, you need to send it out, I believe, at like 10 seconds or so. So even before your first pylon starts. So that is pretty darn quickly. We see 2 gases going down, and this also was a really fast gateway, I think. 16, 26. Maybe not the fastest gateway, actually. Just a regular timed gateway. So it gets a very fast scout, a regular timed gateway. Then he starts throwing down a, well, I hope a Cybercore pretty soon. At what, 124, 125, 127. A Zealot starts out as well. We see a quick SCV scout here coming out of HeroMarine as well. Immediately starts a Marine. He is the hero of Marines after all. So it's not that surprising. So yeah. Pylon go down? Okay. Now this is the type of pylon that... well, what does it block here? So realistically, this only blocks a wall. But HeroMarine says, hey, wait a second. I just scouted you. You have no natural. I can just start with a factory and use that as a wall. This probe is gonna go down. It's not gonna be able to achieve that much useful here. You could say, well, why doesn't he just attack the pylon? Because it doesn't serve much of a purpose. I mean, why would you want to kill that pylon at this point? There really is no reason for it. Instead, HeroMarine's gonna be going for this battery. Of course, HeroMarine didn't know he was gonna go for this battery because he didn't even know there was a Stargate here. Now that he does know that there's a Stargate here, and there's a battery here, it's like, well, I guess that's a battery I can pick off, and indeed that is... Well, it's not quite going to be the case, as sOs waited very long with cancelling that, and that paid off. On the other hand, what is this battery really going to achieve? This is kind of a useless battery. I think it should be cancelled at this point, but well, it is what it is. Does finish up. Zealot gets into the main base, but there's 4 Marines here, and I'd be surprised if HeroMarine even loses a single Marine. Well, I am surprised. Actually, that was pretty surprising. He had 4 Marines, and he had a bunch of SCVs, so losing that was absolutely not necessary, but sometimes things just happen, and you know, we shouldn't lose too much sleep over it. 4th Marine, oh well, this adept is gonna get a little bit of damage as well from that Marine that just popped out there, and then once this bunker finishes, HeroMarine will be able to get into that bunker, save his own Marines, and start dealing damage towards that adept. First Cyclones on the way as well, and we'll most likely see a Macfield accelerator upgrade as well. I always forget what it's called. First depot is about to get taken out though, and now that the pylon is down, which is by HeroMarine's doing, these adepts are capable of getting into the main base. Probably don't want to be going too deep immediately, as there is a Cyclone out at this point. And this is one of the disadvantages of getting a slightly later gateway if you're doing this proxy Void Ray build, is that the Cyclone is out so fast. Usually you get a Void Ray, you get your 2 adepts, and you can run around, you can have a good time, but in this case that's not actually true. Well, maybe you can actually still have a good time, as we see, what? 3 SCVs in the red, all of these get pulled back. Nice target fire there, being capable of targeting 3 different SCVs, but you probably want to finish one of them as well. Not going to be the case, and Macfield Accelerator is getting very close to being done. Once Macfield finishes, usually the Protoss gets in a little bit of trouble, because Cyclones just kind of destroy these Void Rays. Especially if you have a lot of maneuverability with these Cyclones. Now do note that this is going to be played on a little bit of ping, so the micro and the kiting between the Void Rays, the interaction between the Void Rays and the Cyclones are going to be a little bit tough. Now, there's still about 25 seconds to be had on this Macfield Accelerator. Oh no! HeroMarine pulled away the workers. Well, Macfield's going to get denied. That means he's still going to have 3 Cyclones left over, which are good and which are important. 1 Cyclone is going to go down. Once these Void Rays lock onto a Cyclone, even though there's no ability called lock on, but once they get their attack on the Cyclone, very often it will end up dying. Does need to be careful though, because if you try too many times, you see a lot of the batteries are already running dry. A mine is now out as well. Attack lab is being rebuilt, but why at the same location? It seems like such a tricky location. Good unburrow there on the mine though by HeroMarine. Will be able to reburrow the mine as well in time. Here comes the shade in with the adepts. Not a big fan of this move though. It's gonna lose 3 adepts and kill absolutely nothing. Well, we'll be able to take out the mine. Also gets another lock on. We have about 1, 2, 3. We have about 3.5 batteries with energy left still. Now these Void Rays once again locking onto a Viking this time around, or latching onto a Viking I should say. Void Ray getting a little bit low, but battery here to save the day. This is looking pretty bad for HeroMarine. Supplies are surprisingly even though. 7 of that supply is in workers, which are practically useless. Now this factory is gonna go down, big surprise. I already said it, why would you rebuild it over there? Marines are going to walk into Void Rays as well, that are being healed currently by batteries. Now these Void Rays need to move back a little bit. And I think if SOS just waits a couple of seconds and then uses his super prismatic alignment on this bunker, I actually think that HeroMarine is going to be in a world of trouble. He'll have nothing to kind of hide behind, because that is one of the main issues. Another thing that SOS could do here is just get a natural. I was going to say a third base, but a natural would be really, really sick. Instead, he's just going to keep building more and more adepts, because what future is there here for HeroMarine? He's building Vikings one at a time. He's getting a couple of Marines, but good luck ever breaking through this. Yep, this is a good call. Goes for... I feel like he could have fought a little longer though. Looks like SOS is a little bit afraid to move his Void Rays forward, even though there's just 2 Cyclones and 2 Vikings. Gonna try to move on top here. He's getting a pylon on the high ground. Now there's a lot of DPS on these Void Rays. Oh, you kind of do need to be careful, because this is a lot of Marines as well. This is not the greatest attack. These adepts are shading forward. Good surround here with the SCVs. I think 5-6 SCVs are gonna go down, but worker count still equal. This is too many Marines. People forget how good the damage output of Marines is. And now a lot of the Void Rays have gone down. One more will go down. Oh, this is scary. That was about 3 Void Rays that just went down there. 6 Adepts as well. And sure, I think 2 Cyclones, or maybe 1 Cyclone and 2 Vikings went down. But that's a good trade here for HeroMarine, who all of a sudden finds himself kind of ahead in the supply by 6. And this is without him having a worker lead. So for the first time I feel like HeroMarine actually has a decent chance of holding. He's building a tank, which is weird. Yeah, just really odd. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but he's done it. And he will have to live with that decision. He also built a medevac, which is also very odd. And he'll need to live with that as well. Now, the nice thing about the tank is that you can kind of zone out these batteries. The less nice thing about this tank is that it doesn't do anything against the air, which still is the main problem in my opinion. This barracks is not being floated back, so another building is gonna go down on the side of HeroMarine. This is a very tense proxy Void Ray, holy crap. The never-ending proxy Void Ray here. Oh, almost loses one. Life would have at least ended for one of those Void Rays, but not quite the case. 2 tanks are out. Now we see Macfield Accelerator. So it's funny, because HeroMarine kind of is like, well, I can push back your batteries now, but wait, I still need something to deal with these Void Rays, and it's completely true. He's gonna kind of leapfrog forward, and he's gonna try to get some vision of these batteries, but with Macfield, all of this would be made a lot easier. Good damage output though on that Void Ray. They're out of those Marines. There's still so many Marines alive. 13 Marines. Now this tank is moving forward. Can't get too close though, or these Void Rays will just suck itself onto it and kind of start using prismatic alignment. We do finally have a Nexus on the way for SOS, but I feel like they could have been done a lot earlier, and rather than a second... Oh my god, he's moving close to this. I don't know about this. Is this okay? I guess it is okay. I mean, there's... Oh. Medevac's gonna get taken out. There's still so much battery energy though. This feels kind of scary. This really does feel kind of scary. I'm surprised that HeroMarine had... Well, he's just gonna go even closer. I guess he knows better than I do. He's played against more proxy Void Rays than I have. He probably also beat more than I have. A lot of these Void Rays are getting very low. Macfield isn't even done yet. And it feels like SOS actually needs to give up this position right now. He has a lot of gas in the bank. Finally, he starts mining from his natural. I really feel like this base should have been done 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes ago. Now a Phoenix starts, but a Phoenix is really nice to lift Cyclones and to do things with if the Marine count is really small and if there's no Vikings around. But there's Vikings around. The Marine count is absolutely massive. So I don't think a Phoenix is going to achieve very much here. You can't really lift the Cyclones anymore. You can't attack into this anymore whatsoever. I think SOS is going to play a game of defend the ramp here, and needs to hope for some good force fields, because otherwise he just will not be able to do it. SOS too afraid to actually do that because he thinks that HeroMarine might take the middle path. HeroMarine says, no, I'm just gonna go bust this ramp because I know you're too afraid to be there. That's indeed the case. Now SOS will need to stand on top of this ramp. We'll try to get a couple of force shields. Doesn't get them. If he would have gotten 2 of these Cyclones for free, that would have been really big. Now he's gonna go try and get the Cyclones, but instead of getting the Cyclones for free, he loses a lot of units and doesn't get a single Cyclone. Loses another Zealot there as well. I think HeroMarine actually is going to win this game. He's moving forward with the Cyclones. Good control out of the German. GG gets called and SOS loses game number 1. Right on, guys. Alright, game number 2. Here, once again with that very fast scout. Yeah, see, he does it way before Pylon when he sends out the first probe. He does it way before Pylon. And I kind of like that. I kind of do like that. Being able to block your opponent's barracks is pretty cool. I have to admit it. We see a gas first coming out of HeroMarine here. We have a pylon being built on the position where Barracks is supposed to be. And I could be very excited over this, but I've seen SOS actually do this before. He'll throw down a couple of gateways and try to chrono out a couple of Zealots. This build order to me never really made a lot of sense, but it is quite exciting. He's going to throw down a second one, and he'll try to throw down a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. And he's just going to keep getting them. And I think this might be the correct response here. So what you do is you just pull workers to go and attack the newest gateway, okay? Or sorry, the oldest gateway. So the one that's about to finish first. Or the one that has the most surface area, whatever you prefer. So now he's going to go to this one, and then afterwards he's going to go to that one. And he should be capable of doing this. I think this gateway over here is so late that it doesn't even matter. Like, it should never finish, you know? Like, a unit from here is going to pop at like 230. By that time, you're going to have like 5 units. It's going to open up with a Reaper. Now, you could say, why not a Marine? Marines have good DPS, but the Reaper allows you to counterattack. So, here the plan is to waste a lot of minerals. Sure, you're going to waste a lot of minerals on trying to attack and kill gateways. But, if you get the counterattack, it doesn't actually matter that much, because your opponent is also gonna lose a lot of minerals. So, see Chrono on the Zealot, it's obvious to me that this is a mistake, because there's just too many units here. Also, there's about to be something popping from this. You have a probe moving down here, and we have a Cybercore on the way. So, I guess the follow-up is going to be something along the lines of a Proxy Void Ray. First, Zealot's never gonna come out. This is... This is a lot of SCV lost mining time. I'm gonna be real. Like, this has been painful as well, income-wise. Okay, for HeroMarine, this has not been easy, but now it's gonna become real painful income-wise for SOS, as we'll see. We see a probe getting taken out here. That's number 1. We'll see how good the control is out of HeroMarine. Take a look at that APM. APM currently at around 350. Wants to continuously be microing this Reaper, but also still needs to do things at home, of course. And currently, let's see how that's going. Well, he wasn't mining gas for a little bit, which is painful. It means his factory is going to be extremely delayed for no real reason other than that he wasn't mining gas. And of course he was microing the Reaper. Let's actually go first person here on HeroMarine. See, now that battery finishes up and he's like, well, that sucks. That's the end of my party. He actually could just keep attacking that, I think. Because eventually it's gonna run out. There's no gateway on the map. Wait, there is a gateway on the map, isn't there? Okay, the gateway is here. I didn't quite see that. And he still could have kept attacking it and would have forced at least a little more out of this. I think he probably would have been able to get one more if he would have kept attacking the entire time through. So you waste 2 energy every single time. That's about 50 shots. And then a grenade wastes a lot more energy because the battery needs to heal a lot of probes at the same time. So now HeroMarine found this. The funny thing is, because his factory is so late, he actually is really late with this factory. Look at that. He had so much gas saved up already. This actually is really sloppy here out of our German Terran friend. Needs to be careful. That battery is going to get taken out. This probe is not going to get taken out, but the second battery will get taken out. Probe also will get taken out. Apparently you can out DPS that. Oh, needs to be careful though. Tries to block. Oh no. 1 HP Adept here survives with the battery. Now actually a lot of the Marines went down, so I am not entirely sure about this. I mean, sure, he's lost 3 gateways and 4 probes. But HeroMarine just lost 3 Marines, forgot to build a factory, is now on 2 barracks, is trying to throw out turrets, but the turrets aren't done yet, and this Void Ray is. Cyclone is pretty far away from finishing as well. Second Void Ray is on the way immediately here. Another probe is being sent out as well. Let's see if this Reaper can find it. Oh! Hello? No? Well, probably busy with other things. I'm not gonna blame him for that, as there's a freaking Void Ray in his main base currently. 5 SCVs have gone down, and we see prismatic alignment being used on this tech lab, which most likely means that SCVs need to get pulled right now. This Cyclone needs to be so careful, because if it gets latched on... Oh, no control out of SOS. SOS did not control that Void Ray very... too many Marines. If there was only 2 Marines there, I probably could have killed that with a prismatic. But sloppy play nonetheless here out of SOS after a little bit of sloppy play out of HeroMarine as well. I'm not going to blame these guys because these games are really weird. And we're back into territory that we know from last game. But this time I think Macfield is just going to finish up. Turret is being constructed right next to it. Factory in a way better position than last time around as well. Bunker still alive. There's not really a battery count whatsoever to speak of. That Void Ray almost went down. Cyclone once again with a solid lock on. I mean, once Macfield finishes up, I just think that this is pretty much over, no? Like this doesn't look like a good situation here for the Korean Protoss. Ooh. Pylon barely doesn't go down. I think an Adept Shade just finished down into the main base. HeroMarine not really responding to it. Oh, he killed it with an SCV? Look at that hero SCV. Where are you? I saw you. Is it this guy? One of these ones, I bet you. We're gonna find you, don't worry. I have all the time in the world. I got him! Here, this is him. Look at that. The man, the myth, the legend. With the kill on the Adept. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. So yeah, Macfield Accelerator is done right now. We have a Reaper still on the other side of the map. Reaper sees the complete lack of a command center. This is such a comfortable position here for HeroMarine. HeroMarine says, okay, what you gonna do, buddy? You're gonna go into Tempest, you're gonna go into Phoenixes, a Proxy Nexus, like what's the play? And indeed, HeroMarine is scouting for Proxy Nexi right now. And he won't find anything because there isn't any. But of course, HeroMarine isn't aware of that. Now, SOS, however, is gonna still look for a little bit of damage. 3 Phoenixes, 3 Void Rays. I'd like these Phoenixes to be hidden. So you go in with the Void Rays and you pretend, oh, I'm attacking your refinery, please come and fight me. And then the stupid Terran comes, oh, refinery, I want to keep that. Goes in, bam, lifting all the Cyclones. You kill 3 Cyclones. There we go. There's just too many units. He can't do it. He can't go in here because the moment he lifts a unit, he'll just instantly lose his Phoenix. There's just too much DPS here. This is the problem. If the Marine count gets too big, these type of plays just become bad. I mentioned this last game as well, but it remains true. Like most of the things I say, will remain true for eternity. Just like my investment advice. And I said to buy Microsoft stock because Skype is one of those programs with, you know, a lot of potential. And we see what happened with Microsoft in the past 7 months. Boom, through the roof, to the moon. 2 Cyclones are just randomly moving out on the map. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I do like it though. I'm a big fan of Cyclones in general. Just the unit and the concept of it, I think it's really cool. Locking onto things, moving back and forth. It's pretty sick. Alright, this thing is not going to turn into an orbital command, and the reason for that is because he's so oversaturated in the main base that he'd much rather have a quicker natural so he can stop the oversaturation and kind of start mining, basically. Orbital command is going to start on the natural soon as well. 4 Phoenixes are out. 3 Barracks, factory. That's interesting. I mean, I think HeroMarine's just really far ahead. Even though it doesn't look like he's super far ahead if you look at the supply. I know that he's very far ahead because I have a very deep understanding of this game. Okay. I mean, he's just better infrastructure, right? It has +1 on the way. I like that he's getting into Storm SOS. That's good because that's really the only way he's gonna win, right? Is throwing down a couple of good storms. There's so many Marines at this point. The damage output of this army is gonna be bananas. The Marine is one of those units that's the highest DPS per supply out of any unit. I just made that up. I'm not sure if that's actually true, but it wouldn't surprise me. Could just be the carrier actually, but that wouldn't surprise me if it's the Marine. He's really broken. straight carriers against straight marines. I think marines also win. I'm also not sure if that's true. But, yeah, probably. Maybe you need medevacs actually with it. A medevac marine against pure carrier. Not entirely sure. Anyway, yeah, I mean, HeroMarine's just gonna walk up here and win the game. Like, there's a couple of force fields. I'm actually surprised that he decides to go for the ramp rather than the completely open area over here on the right side. But then again, it would be no fun if it was easy, you know? There is fun in the struggle. That's why we all play StarCraft. And we get an Archon Morphin. Kills all of his own force fields at the same time as well. Just pushes the Archon, forcing himself onto those marines. That is not what we stand for. I mean, this was just a fantastic fight. Just absolutely a fantastic fight. This Cyclone's gonna, well, not really do much of anything. GG, well played, as HeroMarine wins the series 2-0 over SOS. That was pretty fun. I like that. I like the proxy gates. I like the Void Ray all-ins. I'm a fan of all of those, but the defense out of HeroMarine just a little bit too good, and SOS sometimes just a bit too sloppy in the execution for it to be a perfect Void Ray all-in, or what was it, 4-gate proxy, 3-gate proxy. Alright, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. If you did, be sure to leave a review down in the comments, and be sure to give me 5 stars on Yelp as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.